Hey guys, Kelly Sue here with Cleopatra Arts. I'm painting the new insert for the arm stand. Not 100% sure you can get all of this on here, but it's Bigfoot. Look at this cute little toes, super cute. So I did paint a few things ahead of time because I want to spend all my time with this background here. I don't know how fancy to get. I don't know if I want to get like sunsetty. I kind of think maybe I'll just make it super duper easy. Okay, so I do have, so basically this is what the rectangle board will read, and then I'm gonna sponge it just a little bit. Probably make it pop. Tell me what colors you would use. Super cute. This is, I did try to stain the back of this board. I didn't like it at all. So I just let it go as the song suggests. Okay, so I don't want to go too dark on the mountains because Hello Bigfoot wouldn't stand out then. So I was thinking I would do either a grayish purple on the mountains and then white. But I'm going to draw, take a pencil or just a paintbrush. And in my mind's eye, I'm going to just, kind of decide where the mountains are going to end. Right here, probably right here. Maybe a little further down, actually. I'm going to erase that line. So I know where to stop with that color and then start with, I'm going to say like a fall, kind of a tired grass. Hey Christy, thanks, it's mine, I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna come through. You guys know what I mean. We live in Washington and Montana's like this. As the season goes along, things dry up out there in the wilderness or even in town. Anywhere there's not a little irrigation actually. So I'm just gonna paint that on there. So I know where to stop with the mountains. Again, you can make the mountains a darker, richer color if you wanted to. You just have to rethink Bigfoot. Maybe yours is more like a Yeti. I did this design, hey Brenda, for John, because you know how he is. It's not like he believes that Bigfoot exists. He just he likes the idea that Bigfoot might exist. So I'm just going to use Winter Blue. I'm going to water it down a little bit. Oh my gosh, Christy, if you're still here, I tried to channel my inner Christy today with a new village we have, which is sunflower based. And I was like, I'm going to make it dark like Christy. And no, it's not. I'm going to have to sit on it for a day because it does not look like how you would do it. So we etch the background. So in any of these, going back to Art Classes 101, there is background, which is the sky, the mountains. Midground would be the trees, and then foreground would be the star of the show, Mr. Bigfoot. So we try to make it easy for you by etching the mountains. And John goes, he's not, I'm not an art major either, but I've taught a lot of art classes. He's like, I'll make those 3D. And I'm like, no, then it's not gonna work because if it's in the background, it shouldn't be popping forward. Because part of me was like, maybe I should have put a crescent moon on here. And he's like, oh, I'll just whip one out. I'm like, no, that should be the furthest away. Christy's laughing her butt off. Yeah, I tried, Christy, I tried. You're high on pain meds right now, so anything's gonna be funny for you. I hope you're doing okay. I was thinking about you lots yesterday. So I'm just probably gonna do a purplish gray for the mountains and then come in with white. Okay, so bear with me a little bit. So a purplish gray, what do I mean by that? Well, I got some gray. I could just do gray, that'd be okay. But I do like a little bit of splash. I like a little splash, and I'm going to put a little periwinkle Okay, I call it that. It's light blue violet in it, and we can adjust it just a little bit. Purple Mountains Majesty. Oops, that's a lot of majesty right there. Oh my gosh. I know I'm catching a lot of people before lunch today, but you know, this is the time I had to film. So I had a lot of questions after our filming last night, like, whoa, slow down your roll. I don't know how you made those colors. So I did film the periwinkle, just gave it a little love. I am actually gonna paint over my etching, and then I'm gonna come through. The purple just added a little bit of interest to the gray, so it's not so black and white sterile. So it doesn't look, I guess, just dingy from the black. I'm okay that I went over my snow line because I'm going to, you know, if I was smart, I would have brought some piping stuff to pipe it on. Let me think what I can use instead. I'm just gonna paint right over these trees down to the line. If I was being super artsy-fartsy, I could put some little mini trees in the back, and maybe I'll just show you how to do that. If you like it, that's great. If you don't, do your own thing. That's what's so great about this stuff. Doing your own thing. Okay. Put as many coats on as you want. I like that there's a subtlety between the mountains and the sky color, which is really, winter blue is really a gray, a bluish gray, like all the cars that are out there right now. I would most likely give it a second coat, but I do need to get out to the workshop today, working on getting those biggie boxes out the door. Okay. So right here on this line, before I get too carried away, you can come in and put some small trees. Now they're just texture, but your mind's eye go, okay, it's the wilderness, there's some trees clearly on this side, and then there's some blobby things in the background that do look like trees, so therefore they are trees. It's kind of how it works. The artist doesn't paint every leaf on the tree. We give you some big ones in the front, and then those dogs are going to town. I'm so glad they're outside today. And then they do some big ones on the tree. I'm trying to decide if I'm using the right color. And then there's just texture underneath. And you can do that with a paintbrush. Yeah, this one's not the one I want. Okay. So with a paintbrush, if you have a small enough fan brush, you can do it. Otherwise, I just kind of like to use a filbert. I'm gonna get that painted. You're just gonna fix the tops with a smaller paintbrush. Put a little bit of black in them so they're a little darker. I'm gonna hold my paintbrush together a little tighter, which looks way better than what I just performed. Remember, I'm just holding those together. Okay. And keep going to your heart's content. Remember, Mr. Foot is going to cover up most of it. I just wanted there to be, so there's this awkward line at the horizon where the two earths meet, the mountains and the ground. And so all I did there was just cover it up a little bit so it's not so crazy intensely weird. It's just an awkward line. You always have those. I'm going to try and use my paint pen on these front trees. Let's see. This is my Artistro And my biggest challenge with them is I press too hard, which eats up this nice felt. So I'm trying to come in very dainty, get her done. Just trying to get her done. So I had a lot of fun designing this one yesterday. I just had so many ideas on how I wanted to do it that I had to let some of it go. Like, oh, and then it would be so fun to do this. And I wanted to do Bigfoot Country in the words, which didn't really fit. There's way too many words. And John said, well, just do believe. So these paint pens are a little different. Please remember, we don't get endorsements. They're a little different than the spring-loaded paint pens because the paint is already there. It's already ready to go. It's locked, it's loaded. You don't have to press and then wait for it to spring back. And then it always kind of drips for me. I don't like those at all. Looks like Hazel's gonna decide to be mouthy. So this is a really good first pass. I wish I could tell you what color this is, but apparently I didn't pay for the upgrade to know what colors they would be. Oh my gosh. They're just a bare basic paint pen and they're great. Excuse me. They're just Artistro, but at no place. They do tell you that this is the brush tip and this is the dot tip, but at no time do they ever say what in the world the color is. So there's that. Okay, if you're super artsy, come back in, put some highlighting and detail work like that. I am gonna grab the darkest brown I have. Is this one? Yeah, let's try the dotted side. All right. So let's pretend I painted that a couple times. I also like to bring in, that's just not dark enough, with a very tiny paintbrush, or as tiny as I have available. I'm gonna add a little brown and black together, make a really dark gray. And just pretend I painted everything. And just every now and then put a very thin line to be the tree trunk that's kind of visible. I like to do that. Now I'm gonna come back through, make that a little darker. Just playing, and remember, first time painting it, I'm trying to work through all the snags. Since I'm off and running with design work, what are some designs you would like to see for the arm stand? Let's get that one. Oh, I got my pinky right in the white. Let's start with that one. I have a very snarky door hanger to do with for the girls in the shop. They have a saying they use. It's very vulgar. I'm going to beat myself out. Beep, please. Not witch. It's kind of like witch, please. Like witch, ... please. It's very sarcastic. But it's witch with a B that we're going to be making. It's just for my sarcastic friends. So I got to get that one coming. And let me know, are you sneaking a peek at work right now? For my friends on the west or east coast side, you're probably just looking at the clock, waiting for the last 2 hours of work to wind down. Oh, man. You can already hear I'm pressing too hard. You can do this with a paintbrush if you wanted to. So another thing I like to do is back here on this row of trees, now that they are dry, and this is from my canvas painting era. I used to teach canvas painting. You'd even teach the kids to do this. Oh yeah, I'm shredding up this. I'm shredding the felt. Okay. is, where's my tiny little paintbrush? Did I put it in water? Oh, I did. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with my dark gray that I made, and I'm just going to put little tiny trunks. Wow, that's a really big paintbrush. You can also do it with a, I'll just do it with a toothpick because it's so tiny. Painting with a toothpick. Okay, so I'm just gonna come here and put, okay, that sounded a lot easier than what it actually is. To put some tree trunks. That are peeking through. Okay, that was a little light. Maybe some amending by the time you guys see the finished result. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Good enough, you guys get it. I'm gonna play with it just a little bit. Need a little cowboy hat. Clearly come back and do your trees as much as you want. Do some highlighting. Are you fancy? Do you want some highlighting with gold? That might help Mr. just a little at the top. Mr. Bigfoot stand out just a little bit. I like to think he goes out during the day too. He's not just a night guy. Just have a little fun. And then honestly, if it's too much, look at me. I'm just like, whoop. Yep, there's a lot happening here. We're just giving it a little love. If it's too much for your liking, just go back with your other paint pen and just keep going. It's kind of fun. Okay, so I have my mountains. They need to be painted. A couple different ways you could paint them is you could use some paint that has some texture or, excuse me, even your tulip. That'd be okay. Let's see, do I still have... Tulip would be fun. A paint pen, or you could use heavy body fluid acrylics. I'm looking for it. Here we go. Which is really cool because it's a different sheen, and that's why I like it. It adds a little bit of variety and interest. I would have to paint it on. Here we go. So it's fluffy. Please keep in mind that paint shrinks. Find that paint shrinks at the rate of 33%. So even though it's super fluffy now, it most likely won't be. Could you use Snow Tex? You probably could. It's a little harder to control because of the thicker chunks, let's call it chunks, that are in there. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use a skinny paintbrush and my fluid acrylic paint. So it's more of a, we're just gonna pat it on instead, you can't really brush it on. And my paintbrush is kind of wet. It's damp. So I'm just gonna pat it on. If I don't love it, it's okay. I'm just trying some stuff out to see if you guys would like it. I'm just gonna fill it in between the lines. Did all the hard work for you by drawing where the snow line should be. If you don't like it at all, you can flip this board over and do your own design. Snow Tex, yeah, that would be harder to do with Snow Tex. It would be pretty easy to do this with the, help me out here, with the Tulip. Tulip is just 3D fabric paint, and you just squeeze it right where you want it. So you know when you don't have enough on your paintbrush because it looks like you painted it on instead of it being thicker. So I'm just kind of patting, like pat, 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 where I want it to go. You don't have to stay in the lines, it's okay. I mean, if you can do that, that's good for you. I cannot. And guess what? You're gonna have a sweet spot, a spot where things are easier to paint. Turn your work, not your body. If you have go down to Goodwill and get yourself a Lazy Susan, that makes it really easy. I just have one of these from when I taught ceramics painting days. And like making ceramics, we had a lot of these people would fight over. Just gonna turn it for me. And we made sure that Bigfoot was slightly below the snow line. Oh, and why wouldn't he be? It's not a Yeti. Mainly that was because I wasn't sure what product I was going to use on the snow line. And if it was super 3D, I didn't want him to be kind of wobbly looking. Oof, that's pretty fluffy. It's like painting with marshmallow cream. Normally these inserts are very straightforward painting wise, but every now and then we like to throw out something where you have to paint it a little bit more challenging, or as challenging as you're gonna make it. So if you're just joining in now, I would show you a photo, but this is an original. We just put it up on the website today. So it's our original Bigfoot. So this is going to dry. It will shrink at the rate of what? Who was listening? 33%. There we go. So quite a bit, so it won't be as fluffy fluff at all. You could have done the Tulip. I just chose not to. Okay, let's see what this is going to look like all together. I'm putting it in place, and this gives me a few seconds or even a minute or two to change my mind and adjust just a little bit. So if you're watching, let me know. Do you believe? Are you a believer? Have you had an experience? I've had some footprints in the snow all the way across my driveway, which is maybe 1.5 cars wide. And there's only one footprint, barefoot, at 10 o'clock in the morning on the January 10th, or maybe it was 8 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know, and our properties all have like 5 or 10 acres in them, and I wouldn't know who would have done that. Who would have been there? Okay, I feel like we need a little bit of love at the top of this, so let me grab, I'm going to use cream instead of white. So I made a whole bunch of cream. Where did I put it? Right here. I made some cream from a cream video. Okay, so I'm just gonna top it. If I don't like it, I can come back and just change it, but I think it looks pretty good. Helps it pop. So this word believe is actually broken apart on purpose because it is pretty lengthy. We wouldn't have wanted it to break on you, so I broke it apart just because that's how I roll. Okay, let's get ready here. This glue dries clear too. That's why I like it. We used to use E6000, but at a paint party, the ladies would get a little frustrated that it would dry clear, but the sheen was quite glossy. So we went to this and people are pretty ecstatic. They like it. Okay, I should have left one in its spot. I'm gonna go down a little bit lower than halfway. Did I really just do that? That would be a, yep, sure did. Okay. And probably aren't straight, but done is better than perfect in my book, so I may go a little lighter. I wanted a shadow look. I think it's okay. It's okay, right? So all you have to do is line this up. Make sure you're not covering the tab. Somebody's not going to listen and they're going to be like, I covered the tab. And then put your little toes in, which I love those. And I'm thinking I might take a paint pen and just kind of highlight those. Let me try it first with the cream. Nope. And I made a mess. It's all over. Okay, so I can tell from the replay that you can't quite see the shadow of his big foot in the big foot, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna wipe those off. I don't like that at all. And so what I'll do is I'll come in, where'd my gold pen go? So this isn't super gold, it's just like that color. I might hate it. And if that's the case, I'll just paint over it black. Doop, doop. He has a foot that a podiatrist would love. I really think so. Okay, so here we go. So the outside of Bigfoot, let's go ahead and get rid of that. He's on there. I may paint the sky one more time to get a nice look. I may bring the gold around just a little bit. And if I don't want to, if I don't like it, I'm gonna just go ahead and paint him black. Just think, where's the sun gonna hit him? Just a little bit here and here, maybe here. Definitely not in the armpit area, maybe the bottom of his hand. All right, and then I have Sabrina's silver arm stand right here. Of course, I have a weird camera angle, but I'll just show you what it looks like if I can. Okay, so this would hang here. This would go in here. Ta-da! And then this drops in here. So I could have gone maybe a smidge bigger on the toes, but I didn't want, because I knew it was going to be dark, I didn't want them like running into Bigfoot. So I may come back here and change the outline to a cream if I feel like it's not quite showing the way I wanted to. Oh my gosh, this white is on the tabletop. Kind of looks like a road. It's hilarious. Okay. So hopefully that helped you all out to maybe decide, do you like this or not, what you would do with yours. I like it. I'm trying to decide. I might want, maybe turn it this way. Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da-da! Anyway, I'm really excited about this first arm stand design that we created. Did it for John. Let me know if you have any ideas for arm stands designs, and if we think other people might want them too, we'll get those out. Okay guys, thanks for watching today. Have a good day. Bye-bye.